welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Faith. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are talking all about baby names, specifically fall-inspired baby boy and baby girl names. I think I'm gonna make this into a series and also do a video for winter and spring, maybe summer, I don't know. I'm currently pregnant with baby number 2 and the baby is due in February. So I've been researching more like winter names, but I know that fall is coming and maybe there's some of you guys who are still stuck on names. So I wanted to start with fall. My first child, Summer, was born in the summer, and I just love names that are like seasonal or have some sort of like seasonal meaning behind them. So if you're also into that, or if you just are stuck on names, I think that this video will be helpful. I'm gonna do 5 girl names and 5 boy names. As we're going through these, make sure you comment down below any names you think of that would be appropriate for fall or autumn. That's always super helpful for anyone who's watching this video to try and come up with baby names for their fall baby. So load up the comments with all of your name ideas, recommendations, suggestions for baby names for fall or autumn. But let's hop right on into these 5 girl and 5 boy names that are inspired by the fall season. I have all of these names written down on my phone with their meanings. I know how difficult it can be to like pull the trigger on a name. We actually, fun fact, I think we have our boy name, not a girl name yet, which is the opposite. We were able to come up with Summer's name fairly quickly, and it took forever to come up with a boy name. I have the hardest time with boy names because I do like unique names, and I feel like with girls, it's just easier to do more unique names, and with boys, I just find it a little bit harder. We don't know what the gender of this baby is. We could find out at this point, but we're not going to. We didn't find out with Summer, so we actually had to pick a boy and a girl name and find out at delivery what it was, and we're gonna do that again this time. So we have to come up with both boy names and girl names when I'm pregnant, so that's kind of why I have to always be thinking through both. But anyways, I'm gonna start with the boy names and finish with the girl names because I just love the girl names so much more. I don't know, I just love girls' names. I find them so much more, I don't know, like pretty, unique, interesting. So I'm gonna save those for last. We're gonna start with the boy names, which I also love, but yeah, let's get into it. So the first name that I thought of for fall is Hunter. And this was a really popular name. I want to say like 5-10 years ago. I feel like I knew a few Hunters. I think it's died out a little bit, which is kind of good. I think it's maybe a little bit more unique, but it definitely was a trendy name. So if you're not into that, you might not like it. But I thought it's perfect for fall. That's when hunting season starts. And it just sounds kind of like fall, like woodsy, outdoorsy. So I really like that name and I thought it was perfect for this season. The next name I thought of for a boy for fall is the name Hugh, spelled H-U-G-H. And the reason I felt like this seemed fall is because it sounds like H-U-E, like hues, like colors. And I just think of all the fall colors, the beautiful reds, oranges, yellows, and hue just sounds rugged too, which I think is like fall for me. When I think of fall names, I think of more like rugged, outdoorsy types of names, if that makes sense. So Hugh was the next name I thought of. The third name I thought of is probably a stretch, but for me, it just felt fall-like, and it is the name Theodore, but specifically Teddy for short. I took Summer to the playground a couple weeks ago, and there was a little boy there named Teddy, and I just thought it was the cutest name. And when I think of Teddy, I just think of like warm, cozy, and it just reminds me of like snuggling up in fall time. So I think that's a really cute name. I love that the Theodore name is a very like old-timey name, but the Teddy is really, really cute for when they're younger or even when they're older. So that is number 3. And then number 4 is the name Brock. This was on one of those like more trendy lists. I always Google on, I think it's called Nameberry, like how popular a name is, because I don't want it to be too popular. That's just my personal preference. I don't know where this lands on there, but a Brock, I guess, is a type of apple. I didn't know that, but when I looked up the meaning, I was like, oh, that's perfect for fall. Everyone thinks of apples in fall, and it also means badger. So when you think of like a little badger, that's like such a fall animal, I feel like. And again, it's like a rugged name, Brock. And then the fifth boy name I thought of is the name Graham. Graham has been on my list of boy names for a very long time. It's not one that I think we're gonna use, but I just like the name, and it reminds me of like graham crackers and making s'mores over like a fall bonfire. It's just like a warm name, and I think it's a really cute name, but it's also a nice manly name as well. So I always think of that, like, how will this name sound when the baby is a baby or a little boy, but then also when they're a man, when they're grown up, are they gonna, like, is the name gonna suit a man? So that is all 5 boy names. Now let's get into the girl names, my favorite. I love coming up with girl names. First one is kind of obvious, and as you know, I named my daughter Summer. She was born in the summer, and I love the name Autumn for a fall baby girl. If there's any of you out there that are named Summer, Autumn, any of that, were you born in that season, or were you just given that name? I feel like you'd get constantly asked if you were, like, when your birthday is, if you have that name. I really loved the name Winter for a girl, but when we obviously knew our due date was gonna be in the summer, I didn't wanna name my daughter Winter, having a summer birthday. And that's actually how we came up with the name Summer, and we stuck with that. But yeah, I feel like it makes sense to name a girl Autumn, like, only if she's born in the fall. I'd love to know if your name is Autumn or Summer or something like that, but you weren't born in that season, and if people like give you a hard time about it. I mean, I would never do that, but I could see people like not making fun of you, but just kind of like making a joke out of it. Next one is Amber. And obviously I think of like an amber color, like a deep like orangey red, just reminds me of fall, seems like warm. And I don't know, just recently I really started liking the name Amber. I think I found a girl on Instagram that I follow whose name is Amber, and she's just so gorgeous, and I was like, I love that name. I had never thought of it before. I think it was a lot more popular maybe in like the 90s. I'm not totally sure. I think like right now it's pretty unique. I don't hear of many people naming their baby Amber, but it's still like a very obvious name. It's not like too out there. I always try to find where that line is of, is this really a name, or is it kind of like just a word that we're making a name? That's just my personal preference. Third baby girl name for fall is Maple. And I wouldn't use this name, but I do love it, and I think it's a really beautiful name. You obviously think of like maple trees, like maple syrup, fall time, very fall feeling. Okay, the next name I love this name. It is Sienna, and it's a color. It means like reddish brown, so that's perfect for fall time. I mean, you don't have to use this name in the fall, but I thought it was appropriate. And Sienna, I love that name. I think it's such a beautiful name. Again, I think it might be pretty popular. We'd have to look it up on Nameberry or on Google somehow, but I think it's a really, really beautiful name. And then the last girl name that I have on this list is Ivy. And I've had the name Ivy on my girls list, and I would have thought it'd be more appropriate for like spring because I'm thinking like green ivy, but actually when I looked it up, ivy blooms in the fall. So if you want to have like a real meaning with that, I think Ivy could be a really appropriate name for a girl born in the fall. And I just love that name. I think it's really simple and beautiful. That is it. Those are all 5 girl names and 5 boy names for fall. If you think of any, please comment them down below so that others out there can look through all the comments and come up with more ideas. That is so helpful. Next up in this series will be winter baby names, 5 for girls and 5 for boys. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to keep an eye out for that video. But that is it, short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.